Welcome back, beer tubers. Ryan here with another episode of San Diego Beer Vlog. Thanks for joining me. Going to be looking at a beer from Oskar Brews out of Colorado, and this is their pretty well-known Dale's Pale Ale. Gotta love a beer that comes in a can. Bought the 6-packs of this recently. This beer I'm drinking right here's got canned about a little less than 3 weeks ago, so I found a fresh 6-pack out. So let's get it open. Now, there's a little bit of debate, I think, about this beer because it's 6.5%, and it's a pretty hoppy pale ale, so in some respects you can maybe call this into like an IPA range. But it pours out really clear, just a little bit of a chill haze on there. Not much carbonation, less than a finger of pretty bright white head. Let's kind of swirl that up there. Nose on it. Now, the nose makes me think more of a pale ale because I don't get blasted with a lot of fresh hops. And I pick up a good amount of sweetness from the malt. There's definitely some big bready sweetness, some caramel notes. And then you get some really earthy hops in there. Maybe like a little bit of like a lemongrass note. Some kind of sweeter like orange notes. There's maybe like a melon character in there as well. So pretty nice smelly beer, not amazing, but let's dig in. Cheers. Yeah, much more of a hop presence in the taste than there was on the nose, because up front you get a good amount of bitterness that I think's pretty much on par with a lot of IPAs. Maybe not the big San Diego or West Coast style IPAs out there, but it's got a good hop character, good hop bitterness up front. So up front you get a big, earthy, piney, sort of kind of resiny hop character. That bitterness hits you first, and then you get some of those flavors that kind of dance around a little bit, add in a little bit of a floral note. To me, it's not very super citrusy at all, and it kind of has. I mean, citrus that I kind of get is more of like an herbal lemongrass kind of character, not too much of like say orange or grapefruit peel. But on the back end of this beer, you get a really nice bready, toasty sweetness to it. Not a ton of caramel. Kind of more of that sort of melanoidal, kind of like a Vienna kind of sweetness. Not necessarily maybe like a caramel malt, but it could be a light caramel malt in there as well. But big biscuit character. That sweetness works really well with the hops. Not overly sweet. Somewhat balances the beer out. Still remains fairly hop forward on the palate. But I think as it warms up, that malt will come out even more. Help balance things out. So it seems like maybe they're using like a Maris Otter or something. It's got this just really nice malt characteristic that I think you really need to have in a good pale ale, because you're not going to let the hops kind of maybe take center stage always. But so this one, it's slightly on the hop forward side for a pale, not too balanced. Definitely hoppier, or I should say more bitter than like Zombie Dust that I just recently reviewed, and it's probably the most bitter of the pale ale, typical pale ales you're going to come across. Yeah, the more I drink it midway through, I pick up kind of that melon character I was kind of getting buried. Maybe like a fruity yeast ester kind of. Maybe not. I don't know if they're using an English strain in this beer, but I don't know what their house yeast is, so it's hard to say. Could be just coming from probably from some of the hops they used in there, potentially, or you know, maybe a combination of the yeast and the malt. But it's a fantastic pale ale. I highly recommend it. Comes in cans, so you know it's gonna stay fresher and out of the light. You know, unlike other bottled pale ales. And check the date on the bottom of the can. They'll say when it got canned, and I think this is what I've only done 1050s. My only other Oskar Brews beer I've done. Hopefully I can find Deviant Dales, which is their new release, comes in the tall boys. But this is just a world-class American style pale ale. I'm gonna go A- with it. Not my preferred hop, styles, hop characteristics on it, but just absolute wonderful pale ale. So get it if you can get it, find it in your market, and it's pretty reasonably priced, only like $10.50. So until next time, please comment and subscribe. Cheers.